I'm Matt Willis, Public Health Officer for Marin County with a COVID-19 update for Friday the 13th of May. Today, I joined 10 other health officers across the Bay Area to recommend face covering in indoor public settings in response to the current surge in COVID-19 cases. And I'd like to explain why. But I want to start by acknowledging that there are few topics over the course of this pandemic that have evoked a stronger reaction than masks. Masks have been so politicized in some ways that it's hard to see objectively. I'd like to take the heat down a little bit on the mask conversation and share how I wish we could approach the question of masks in Marin. Masks are one layer of protection for us, and not more than that. As a tool, masks are not the be-all and end-all, but work if our goal is to limit risk of infection when we're out and about in indoor gatherings or in public indoor places. When considering mask use personally, I think about two things. One is, what is the likelihood that someone else in this place in a given indoor setting around me is infected? That is, what is my risk of being exposed? To answer that, I looked at community transmission rates. The reason the Bay Area officer's mask recommendation was issued today, that is the why now, is that the likelihood that someone around us in the community is infected is increasingly significant. Marin County case rates have quadrupled since early May, and we're seeing increases of the virus in our wastewater as well. This surge is being fueled by the BA.2 variant of Omicron and its related subvariants, which are even more contagious than the original Omicron that fueled the winter surge. So while risk of exposure increasing, the other question to ask regarding personal mask use is, what is my risk of becoming seriously ill if I'm infected? Right? For older residents above the age of 65 or people with chronic medical conditions or people who are immunocompromised, a KN95 mask or an N95 mask is an even more important tool. These masks filter out virus particles and can prevent you from inhaling the virus even if you're exposed. This is maybe the most important piece in our mask guidance to me, that people in those higher risk groups recognize they can effectively limit risk of infection with the right mask. For this highest risk group, another important key step is to make sure your home testing kits are available and at hand, and test if you develop symptoms. Reach out to your medical provider with a positive result to discuss treatment, because treatments are much more widely available now and highly effective at preventing hospitalizations. Now is also a good time to get the booster shot if you haven't yet, because it's getting harder and harder to hide from the virus as transmission increases, and the booster can help keep you out of the hospital. In Marin, we've already laid out our long-term strategy for this pandemic, and that we will rely on a combination of layered strategies and striking a balance that focuses on well-being, more than the absence of infection as our definition of success. Our policies see physical, mental, and social well-being as our highest goal. Still, right now, we're seeing a surge in cases, and this is a great chance to apply those principles. Masks are one layer to add back into our response to protect us during this surge, and we can put them away when they're less important. So for now, please mask up for yourself and those around you when you're indoors in public settings. That ability to change and adapt to what the virus brings us has been a strength for us throughout this pandemic. And thank you for doing your part.